Ma live in Washington, D.C.
It's actually that thing. Why are you letting it monitor? This is funny. I sent this to my mom. Giving knowledge, Russian propaganda. Like, it's literally like Alex Jones telling not to
The weather. Hi everyone, how are you?
I've been posting a lot of things in the last 72 hours on the conditions that are going on the southern border and with our children that are being kept outdoors, unsanitary condition, not being allowed to have soap, toothpaste, overflowing toilets, ones that have come in through the rifle border crossings, but immediately once upon entering into U.S. sovereign territory, being separated from their parents. All right. The 1965 Immigration Act, it has a declaration in it that says all reaching our sovereign borders shall be given a speedy hearing. There's children there that have been apart from their parents so long that even our own government that's down there are losing who the child belongs with as an adult. That some have already been adopted away from their natural parents or adult family members. Yes, some, I will agree, aren't their parents. They're cousins. They're older, they're aunts, they're uncles. And because of that, they're also being separated from the parents long term. And then when somebody does come and officially tries to get a hold of them, our government's saying that they have lost track of where their children are now. So it is deteriorating back to Manzanar, where the ones that have any slight look of coming close to an adult, let's say 11 years old, are fodder for sex, as it was in Manzanar concentration camp that happened during World War II. Not in Germany, in California, USA. We had concentration camps. While we're fighting concentration camps, what we don't want is deterioration back to that, even though we already are in that. When people want to say, well, they're not concentration camps, they're not like they were in Germany. We had concentration camps here, and they are like the concentration camps that were here. So we're going to use the English word concentration camp to define what was here, a concentration camp. I know that it wasn't called concentration camp in Deutsch, in German. So that, according to the English language, we're going to keep it at concentration camp. And we have already had those conditions here. So we can compare this to a concentration camp as we have had them as well. Peace, DC Fred Show.
So when I am asking you, oh God, please. All right, guys, if you have a big message, why don't you organize your own protest? Right? Let's go. Organize your own shit, okay?
Abortion is killing babies.
Sir, a birthday child, I don't need your advice, okay? So, and then, by the way, you can go. You can go and talk about abortions. I don't know, maybe you're pregnant or something. Anyway, no cages. This is what we want. We want Trump to hear us. We want Trump to know that a lot of people in America do not want babies in cages. This is not good for us. This is not us, and we don't want this anymore.
He is not keeping up this atrocity you're creating. This is a fake crisis. This is a fake crisis that could have been taken care of very easily. Do not yell at me, go get your own protest. And we say here, we call it Trump's camps. This is what's going on in southern border, and we do not have enough government officials to take care of a massive problem. It's a failure, it's an operational failure, and it's also a humanitarian failure of this organization.
I was thinking about the children on the border, the children seeking asylum on the border, and I literally said to myself, dear God, give me the strength to go out there tonight in front of the White House and one more time tell folks this is wrong. I mean, when I say God, I just mean whatever spirit is up there watching over us, because I don't believe in any particular God. But I would just like to say that we're finding more and more out every day about what's going on in some of these Border Patrol facilities where children are not supervised, where they're overcrowded, they're fed frozen food. The children are fed frozen food, uncooked frozen food. They're sleeping on the concrete. I just want to say that you're saying yay to children sleeping on cold concrete, eating uncooked frozen food in squalid environments. And it's not something to cheer about. It's something to be ashamed about. It's something to be deeply ashamed about. That we as Americans are letting children be mistreated on our border. We're letting children be tortured, and we don't care if they die in the process. Children have died in the process. Children have been sick. Children are wearing dirty clothes. Children are being watched by other children. This is not appropriate. If this were Child Protective Services and you were caring for your child like that, they would take your child away. They would maybe charge you with a crime and throw you in jail. And that's what our federal government is doing. Now, very interesting development today. The director of Border Patrol resigned. Interesting fact in the article talking about why he resigned. He wanted more money and more facilities to more appropriately house and care for children at the border. And what happened? He was told to resign, probably. We'll hear more about that soon. All the truth always comes out, right? Unfortunately, truth is going to be really, really ugly. And I would just like to say, because we've had this said before, it's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Where are their parents? These children come here with relatives, aunts, uncles, grandparents. They're coming to their parents who are already in the United States. And the government is separating them from their relatives and putting them in squalid conditions, overcrowded with not enough food. We're done. We're done. We've been here for almost a year. We've talked about a lot of things. This is the most horrific thing that's happening. These children will never, ever be the same after this neglect and abuse. And it is on all of us. We all need to call our representatives and our senators and tell them we want this to end now. I can't go on anymore.
Makes America great. Love, not hate, makes walk all over you. Listen up, Donnie, you've been lying when you ought to be truthing. You keep lying when you ought to be truthing. You keep losing when you ought to not bet. You keep saying when you ought to be changing. What's right is right, but you ain't been right yet. These boots are made for walking, that's just what they'll do. One of these days these boots are gonna walk all over you. A brand new box of matches, yeah. What he knows you ain't got time to learn. These boots are made for walking, that's just what they'll do. One of these days these boots are gonna walk all over you. Are you ready, Boots?